I was pressured into making this video. I got people who are on my subscribe star, and the deal is that they get to suggest videos, and I had 3 people were like, talk about the fact that they're making Julia Garner as a female Silver Surfer. And my first question was like, who on earth is Julia Garner? Like, apparently she's an actress. I mean, if you want to attract the wider audience, just cast a VTuber. Like, there's more people that are likely to see Fantastic Four who know who Gargura is than people who know who Julia Garner is. Like, the boomer generation is over, right? Like, maybe my parents know who Julia Garner. Modern people, the modern audience, they watch Twitch streamers and VTuber. Cast Pipkin Pippa. If you cast Pipkin Pippa, maybe people will come to see it. But all jokes aside, you know what I noticed? I noticed that even the YouTube videos about this subject, which is why I said I'm being pressured in making this video, because I know it's not going to be very popular. And this is due to the fact that even when the Yellow Flash and other people are talking about this, they're not getting views. And they're not getting views because for a while, you know, like superhero movies were actually popular and people went to see them. But then they dropped the ball. Like the moment they stopped sticking to the source material, the moment they stopped doing what people would expect them to do, and they started subverting expectations, people stopped watching the movie. So they started watching the criticisms. They started watching YouTubers like myself taking the piss out of these movies. But now people are just bored. Like they know. Like, we know. You're going to make a new movie and you're going to do a race swap or a gender swap. Wow. So 2024. It's so tiresome at this point. Like, you're going to show that you do not understand the source material, and you're going to show that you're going to put people in charge of the production who usually hate the IP. And we know this because they actually go out and say that, oh, well, I was never a superhero fan. And then you have, like, the people on Twitter that go like, well, actually, in the comic books, there was a female Super Surfer. Yes, and she had massive, big fucking tits. Okay, big tits, plump ass, hypersexualized, and that's why that comic book managed to sell. Are you thinking that this is what they're going to do? Like, do you think China would allow them to actually have Julia Garner as a female fatale Silver Surfer? Of course not. Yeah, of course not. She's going to have the resting bitch face. She's going to have, like, the same character that all these Marvel female characters come up as. It's almost like a copy of themselves. You know, she's going to be like Captain Marvel, but, like, in the Silver Surfer outfit. At least that's what I expect. You know, I would be shocked if they managed to subvert my expectations. But this is what I expect, right? So, like, no, it's something that the fans don't want. And to be honest, the fans, I don't even think they want Fantastic Four. Like, Fantastic Four isn't even that popular. Now is the era of anime. Like, if this was My Hero Academia, then people would have been interested. But they would probably race swap Deku, wouldn't they? Like, they would go out of their way to race swap Deku. Or gender swap Deku. What? Would they gender swap All Might? Like, what would they do? You know, they would have to race swap or gender swap something, because otherwise they would be ashamed of being Americans. Like, if you don't race swap something, are you really an American? No, you're probably a Nazi if you don't race swap stuff. So yeah, like, this is the thing. Like, regarding the Fantastic Four, they tried making the Fantastic Four work, but for some reason it doesn't. It just doesn't. I suppose if you actually were to make them as a wholesome family, maybe, like that McDonald's commercial that came out from Japan, which just showed a wholesome family. Like, that could actually work, you know, but they're not going to do that. They're not just going to have a movie where you have this wholesome family that is just tackling crime and, you know, they're having a loving relationship and there's romance between them. No, they're not going to do that. Because they're Hollywood. They have to be toxic, don't they? I actually feel bad for this actress, Julia Garner. I don't know where she started, what she played as, but this is probably a career-ruining decision. This movie is going to flop. Like, I know it's going to flop before it's out. Again, I may be wrong, you know, like, if people actually go see it, and it's a success, I'll change my mind, but I don't think they can. There's just like so many reasons. Like, first of all, when you do this race swapping, you're showing me that you're not going to stick to the IP, right? Like, even if there was a female Silver Surfer, most people expect, like, if you're going to have like your Fantastic Four reboot, most people expect what they see in the comics, which is a male Silver Surfer. The second thing, too many superhero movies. They're everywhere now. Like, people are legitimately bored of superhero movies. At least make a new one, you know? Like make a new superhero. Create something new. They're not going to do that. So they want something in between, right? Like, they don't want to stick to the original, but they don't want to create something new either. So they're doing like taking something that already exists and race swapping, gender swapping, and all that bullshit. So this is why I don't think it's going to work. At least, you know, like, if you would put a spin on it, maybe like if you made like the evil version of Fantastic Four. So like you have you know, Brightburn, where it's like an evil version of Superman, or you have The Boys, or you got Invincible, where you have like evil superheroes now. Like, that, this seems to be the new trend. And if you actually did that, then you can actually have a female Silver Surfer. But no, they're not going to do that. Do you know what would actually be cool? Holy shit. Like, if they actually did this, it would be cool. If they made Marvel Zombies. Like, Marvel Zombies was actually very popular in the comic book. I'm genuinely surprised that they didn't adapt it, because you kind of mix the superhero shit with the previous stuff, which was zombie movies, and you can actually create something interesting. They're not going to do that. They just don't want to. They want to lose money, which is fine, you know? But the problem is that I can't even milk them for lols at this point. And look at the other YouTubers as well. Like, just no one cares. And, you know, that's a good thing that no one cares, because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. Like, people have become so apathetic of these superhero movies and what Disney is pulling that no one even wants to talk about it. And to be honest, we wouldn't even be talking about it if it wasn't for this race swap, which isn't even that big. And by the way, mark my words, I expect that they're going to... Sorry, this gender swap. Regarding the race swap, mark my words, I expect that they're going to race swap one of the Fantastic Fours. Like, I would be surprised if they don't do it. Probably make the Invisible Woman black or something like that. They can't help themselves at this point. Like, literally, they cannot help themselves. I think like it's a checkbox thing. I think like they're required to do it. Like, if they don't do it, the movie doesn't get greenlit or something like that. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. And if you want to support the channel, there's a link into the pinned comment. I can take you either to my Subscribe Star or Patreon. And hopefully I'll see you guys there. Take care.